Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Marion County Espresso TV. I'm your host Steve Woodhouse, and joining me today is Knoxville Area Community Theater Board President Marty Atkins. Welcome, Marty.
Thank you.
And we're just a couple of days from the opening of the big Fiddler on the Roof production by K-Act. So how have the rehearsals and such been going, Marty?
Rehearsals are going really well. The cast has been working very hard. Our whole production team's been working hard, and I think we're ready to stop doing it for each other and start doing it for somebody else. So it's good that showtime's coming up.
I was going to say, we're here in the Knoxville Performing Arts Center. You know, we've got the Chagall-inspired backdrop here, which I didn't know that Marty mentioned that before. You know, how many productions have you guys done in here now? I know this place has been open for several years.
I think this is number 11. Mm-hmm. We've done one in here every year. Well, this is our 11th musical in here. We've also done a number of plays. But our first musical here was in 2013, right after the facility opened, and we've done a musical here every year except 2020 because of COVID. So, yeah, it's been a wonderful partnership that we have with the Knoxville Community School District. I would like to mention that early on, how appreciative we are of the partnership that the Knoxville Area Community Theater has with the Knoxville Community School District. We think it's beneficial for the students in the district, and it certainly enables K-Act to be able to work in a wonderful facility, which we very much appreciate, and appreciate their partnership.
And do we have any Knoxville School District kids performing in this year's play? I know they have in the past.
Yeah, we have actually 15 Knoxville District kids involved in the show. We have 6 in the cast and 9 in the crew. And so the crew is really dominated by Knoxville high school students, and they do a wonderful job, and they're getting great experience. So we appreciate all of them.
Of course, it's called Knoxville Area Community Theater because you have people from Pella, Newton, all around in the cast this year, right? Yeah,
I think we've got people from Pella, from Albia, from Indianola, and I think some other, Bussy, so other communities. A typical year, we'll have kids from 5 school districts participating and making new friendships, and just, you know, the show's over and they're crying because they miss each other. So that's one of the really cool things about being able to do community theater for these kids is, you know, they have their opportunities at school, and then this gives them an opportunity to get to know some additional people, and people, of course, of their own age, but also people from, you know, ages. I think the oldest person in our cast this year is 70 years old. So it's we're glad to have everybody.
Yeah, the arts just really do a great job of bringing people together. They always have.
Yeah, and one of the really fun things about this too is that we have people in this cast that probably can't count how many shows they've been in.
Right.
And we have people in the cast that this is their first one, and they may be, you know, they're well into adulthood, and this is their first experience, and just seeing the time they're having, the friendships they're making, and kind of the things that they surprise themselves with what they're able to do. That's really pretty great. And you know, with the kids specifically, we feel like theater is a great experience for them to have, learning teamwork, learning responsibility, learning empathy, kind of stepping out of their own personality to take on a personality of a character, and just learning more about kind of getting outside of their own selves a little bit. I think it's really good for them.
And you guys have been working for several months on this production now, you know, obviously working on sets and choreography and music and costumes and everything. Have things run pretty smoothly in all those aspects? Yeah,
I think so. I mean, every show you have a hiccup or two, but because you can't anticipate everything when you're planning, but really, for the most part, it's gone quite smoothly. We started with auditions in early August. Audition and rehearsals got underway shortly after those auditions in August. We spent the first time in our August rehearsals were out at Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, learning the songs, learning the choreography. We moved into KPAC after Labor Day, and have been, putting together the show ever since.
And Knoxville and the entire area is just blessed to have so many talented people, not only with their acting abilities, but with their musical abilities and so forth. Do you ever stop and, I'm sure you appreciate that all the time, but do you ever stop and think about that, about how we just keep having all these great people coming in for these performances?
Yeah, that's a really great point. It's every time we do a show, we meet somebody new that we didn't know before, and some of them, blow your doors off with their talent. We've got a couple cast members, a couple of our music faculty here at Knoxville are in their first KAC shows, and oh boy, can they sing! They're wonderful. We have other people that'll come in and they're really good on stage, but boy, they're workers, or they're problem solvers, and they help build our organization, and so we have leaders emerge, and so that's pretty great.
Yeah, it takes a lot of volunteer hours, a lot of hard work, not only be up here on stage, but backstage and so forth.
Sure. Yeah, these sets don't paint themselves, and they come out of people's imaginations and creativity. We have some special effects that I can't show you today because I don't want to spoil it for the audience. No. But those things, Troy Eartham does such a great job with lighting and sound design and special effects. So there's a lot of those things that take a lot of time and work and emotional investment, and it's pretty great to see that all of those kinds of investments pay off in front of an audience. And that's another thing I would mention is how important the audience is. Everything we do here, if we're performing it by ourselves and there's just crickets, it's not nearly as much fun, and it's probably, frankly, not nearly as good. When we have a lot of people in the seats and those people are engaged and enjoying it and giving their energy to the cast, that's a big deal. Those audience members are a hugely important part of the whole equation.
And of course, I think I mentioned it at the top, but you're producing Fiddler on the Roof, which has been performed every day since it opened back
1964.
1964, and again, that was something else I didn't know until Marty told me a few weeks ago. That's performed every day. So,
somewhere around the world,
exactly.
since 1964, some theater company, whether it is in Thailand or Czechoslovakia or Iowa or wherever, has been performing Fiddler on the Roof ever since. Fiddler on the Roof ran for a long time on Broadway. Ran for over 3,000 performances. The original production ran for over 3,000 performances on Broadway, and of course it's had numerous revivals since then. Of course, and professional regional theater and all those kinds of things. But I've thought about, I wonder how many Tevias there have been over the years. 50 years ago this fall, I was in a cast of Fiddler on the Roof at my high school, playing the suitor of one of the daughters. So those 50 years went pretty fast, but it's been kind of fun to have this experience this year and think back to those times.
And of course, like you mentioned, Tevye, it's the story of him and his daughters. What else can you tell us about the show? Well,
show is directed by Sean Pavlik. Sean is from Indianola. Sean's been in several of our productions here. He was our Judas when we did Godspell last fall, and was the lead in Blithe Spirit last spring. So Troy is one of those people that's very experienced performer. He's a teacher in the Clark County school system and works well with kids, so it's been great to have him. Jackie Duffy, who for a long time was the vocal music instructor here at Knoxville. She has been our music director and is doing a great job. Troy Eartham, who who I'd mentioned earlier. Troy is our technical director and they're responsible for all the light, sound, backstage kinds of things that have been going on. And Mackenzie Nide is our choreographer and dance teacher. So, and Mackenzie's done a number of our shows here since 2018. So those have been kind of our technical leads. We have a Knoxville high school student, Kyle Bauer, who's an assistant director, and he's taken those responsibilities, to heart and has done a really great job. And so we've got those folks kind of in the leadership. The board of KACT, myself and the whole board has been involved in helping out. Greg May, a longtime board member, is a co-producer along with Kyle Winward from Pella. And so they've been kind of doing a lot of things as rehearsals have gone on to support the director and the rest of the production team and make their lives a little less complicated. So,
because like we said, it takes a lot of work to put on such a good, and I'm sure it'll be a memorable show for the audience that is here.
Well, I hope so, and I think it will be. The cast is really strong vocally. We've got a lot of really fine singers. The dancing is some of the dancing is just remarkable, and yeah, I think people will enjoy it and have a good time, and they're going to have a good performance.
And just remind us again, I know it's this weekend, November 1st through 3rd.
Yes.
And what time are the shows?
Our Friday show is at 7:00 p.m. Doors will open at 6:30, and so, doors will open. People can start coming into the auditorium at 6:30. Tickets are available online, and right now, and if the address is on our Facebook page, so people can get it there, or on our website to get tickets online, reserve tickets. If tickets are still available, if seats are still unsold at showtime, they'll go. We have general admission tickets that will be on sale 30 minutes before showtime. So Friday, November 1st, 7:00. Saturday, we'll have two performances, one at 2:00 in the afternoon and one at 7:00 in the evening. And then our last performance will be Sunday on November 3rd at 2:00 in the afternoon.
And so you've been a part of many, many productions over the years. What continues to fuel your passion for the theater and just to stay involved in it this way?
Some of the things that I talked about earlier. When I think of community theater, community is really the big part of it. I worked in Des Moines before I retired, and so it's been the things that I've been involved with at my church and with KACT that have really kind of made Knoxville home for me. But the things that we've been able to do, because we do theater camps for middle schoolers and then another camp for elementary age kids. We typically do a musical and a play every year. Providing an opportunity for people to try something that they maybe thought they could never do. Maybe being braver than they ever thought they could be. Having an experience where they work really hard, they produce something excellent, really good, and they have people stand and applaud for them. Most of us don't ever hit the big home run or score the touchdown or win the championship. So most of us don't get those kinds of opportunities, but when you get involved in community theater, you are testing yourself. You are being part of a team. You are working hard. You're achieving excellence, and you are recognized for that. And that's pretty great. And to see the relationships that form. We've got, like I said, we've got kids that have met each other, don't go to the same school, and now are like siblings. And so those kinds of relationships are really great. And the friendships that we've made, the friendships that other people have made through this, really make it a great experience. I think community theater generally is it's kind of a real treasure, I think, in communities across the country. And so to have that here in Knoxville and Pella and surrounding communities, I think it helps make our community better. It helps strengthen community ties and it makes our community a little more fun, a little more interesting, and that's what keeps me going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your time, Marty. Thanks for coming in. Is there anything more you wanted me to be sure to mention?
Just again, if you're watching this and you haven't gotten your tickets yet and you're wondering whether you think you want to do it or not, well, I encourage you to come. You won't be sorry, and it'll be a good investment of your time, and you really, really, really are important to making this a good experience for everyone. So come and have a good time and be a part of something special.
Absolutely. Well, thanks again, Marty.
Thank you.
Thank you all for joining us.